Behind the code, the frameworks, and the breakthroughs
are stories of triumph, failure,
resilience, and growth.
This is the developer's journey
With your hosts, Ronald Dolph
and Olivia McVicker.
Copy pasting the code is easy. What is difficult is from where to copy and where to paste.
Navin Reddy is the creator of Telusko, one of YouTube's earliest coding educational channels, known for making complex tech topics simple and fun.
If I'm coming on YouTube to learn something, I want it to be quick. Explain topics which are 20 minutes but in 10 minutes. The worst thing I can imagine in a classroom is I'm teaching something and people are sleeping.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Developer's Journey. I'm Olivia here with my co-host Ronald, and today we have a very exciting guest. We have Navin with us today from Telusko. And Navin, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. To kick us off, we'd love if you could start just with what you do and some of your background to give our viewers some context.
Great. First of all, thank you so much for bringing me on your platform. And in fact, it's when I saw the mail, I was like, okay, I have to do this. Doesn't matter what my schedule is, I have to do this. About me, I'm Navin Reddy. I'm into tech from last 15 years now. I know that's a long time, but I'm not that old. Yeah, so I started in 2010, worked on different technologies. I love exploring technologies. It doesn't matter if I work on that or not, but I want to see what's happening. Whenever new technology comes up, I want to explore it. That's my passion. And from last 10 years, I'm also teaching on different platforms. Started with YouTube, but I thought YouTube is not accessible everywhere, especially in the corporate space. Then I wanted to explore the other platforms where they can learn. And that's what I'm doing now. So learning new technologies, exploring them, and teaching whatever works.
That's awesome. So I do want to ask, what moment occurred that led you to say, you know what? I think I want to start a YouTube channel.
When I was into my development journey, I was working for a firm. And then at that point, I got this opportunity to train my juniors. And then I realized, okay, I love teaching people because when you get the response from the audience where they say, okay, whatever you're saying, we are able to understand. That's when I realized, okay, so apart from development, I can also train people. And then I started exploring training more and development less. Then I got the opportunity to train in one of the company where they hired around 90 people in one go and they wanted to train them. So of course, one trainer cannot train everyone. So they hired two trainers in two different classrooms. And we were instructed that go with the predefined curriculum. Okay, this is what is the course. This is what the slides are. These are the examples. And you have to teach only these examples. It makes sense in one way because there are two trainers and we want to be on the same page. It should not be like one trainer is teaching something else, other trainer is going on some other flow. I was okay to start with. But in mid of the week, in one of the class, I got few questions which was not part of the curriculum, which was something they were curious. They wanted to know what else we can do with this and that. Initially, I thought I should control myself. Then the question went too far, and then I thought, okay, let me answer them in quick way. I answered that for 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes went into 15-20 minutes. It was a lunchtime, and once everyone went for lunch, they started sharing this knowledge with the other people on the other classroom. And then I was called by the training head, and I was asked this question: why you're teaching something extra? You have been told that stick to the curriculum. I was like, okay, it was a lunch break. I thought I can take 5-10 minutes extra. I can teach extra stuff. And they were like, no, you can't do that here because then it creates an issue between two classrooms. It will, the other classroom will say we are not being taught this concept and that concept. I was like, okay. In fact, at that point also, I was like, okay, I should not be doing this. I went back home. Then I realized as a trainer, if I want to talk about something, if people are curious to know things, there should not be any restrictions on me. Luckily, I was able to finish the entire training. They have not kicked me out. But then in that weekend, I was home. I was like, okay, I need to find a way to share my knowledge without restrictions. And at that point, YouTube had this amazing tagline, broadcast yourself. So I thought, okay, let me record what I want to talk about. So if I want to teach a concept, let me record it. Let me put it somewhere. I was not sure which platform to choose. I thought YouTube is famous. I'm talking about year 2011 uh, or 12, 2011, 12. And then I thought, okay, let me push one video. That's how I started with my first video. Next time when I went for the training, and if they have any questions, I said, okay, just wait till the evening. You will get a video. I will not talk about anything in the classroom, but I will give you a video next morning and you can enjoy it. I did that for a few videos, and as human tendency, we don't basically continue the journey. I stopped making videos. But after a few months, I got one of the comment. Because of this video, I got the job. And then I realized, okay, it's working. So I should be doing this. People are getting more help from this platform than going in a classroom and teaching. Yeah, that's how it all started, and still doing it.
Sometimes I feel like corporate logic goes out the window and they have these restrictions that are more detrimental than positive. You know what I mean? But at least it turned out to have like a benefit in the long run for you to create your own YouTube channel to even have more people learn from you.
Did you immediately get a lot of views on those videos, or was it just, those really quality comments that made you think, oh, I want to keep doing this?
Initially it was comments. So every day I used to wake up and I was like, okay, let me check the comments for today. And YouTube is not all gloomy place. Basically, you also get some bad comments, and so I started ignoring now. But initially, it was 80-90% it was positive comments, and then few were there which was not good. So I was only focusing on the positive comments. If my videos are helpful, it used to give motivation. I used to make more videos. I was also busy with the other work like corporate training development. I was not getting enough time for making videos, but those comments were my motivation. Take out some time, make at least one video, and let's see how it goes.
That's such a healthy approach because there's a lot of people, including myself, sometimes you see a lot of positive comments and you see like one negative comment and it sticks in your head. It stays in your head rent free for like 3 months.
It's easy to
True.
spiral on those, yeah. Ever thought about creating your own technology course? Knowing how to create an effective course in software development is a skill every engineer should value. First, it helps you organize your thoughts, which in turn helps sharpen your own understanding of the subject. Second, it's great practice for writing documentation. Docs are really just another form of education. When you can clearly explain concepts to others, whether through docs or through a course, you not only help your team, but you grow as a stronger communicator and developer. I'm curious, at what point did you move from these videos kind of being something that you did on the side to it being your full-time job, essentially?
It was the year 2016, 17 somewhere. As I mentioned before, I was doing trainings and development, and I was not getting enough time for YouTube or to make videos. There was a point when I got a lot of comments for few topics. I have learned this concept now. I want to explore the other concept. I was like, okay, it will take some time. Why it will take time? Because I was busy with something else. Then I thought, okay, so how much money I'm making here? When I looked at the earning from the platforms or the other places, I was making good amount. And then I checked my YouTube analytics. I was making around 1/10 of what I'm making in other things like development or trainings. And then I looked at my expenses. And luckily at that point, my expenses was exactly like what I'm getting from YouTube. I was like, okay, if I can switch, I can survive for a few months with the same expense and same earning from YouTube. And then I went all in. So for 8 to 9 months, I did nothing else, just focused on making videos. I had a wrong assumption or maybe estimation that I will make at least one video per day. So that should be 30 videos per month. That should be around 300 videos in a year. I was able to make 50, 60 videos in the year. Wrong estimation because I thought I will just record the video. But then I realized if I want to make proper videos, I have to do a good research. I have to make sure that whatever content I'm making, it should not be very lengthy. Because one of the comment I got in the earlier days was when I was recording videos for a simple topic, I was taking around 20 minutes, 25 minutes for one topic. And normally in classroom also we take that much of time because it takes time to explain a concept. And then one of the comment I got is, if I'm coming on YouTube to learn something, I want it to be quick. can you teach the same concept in 5-10 minutes? I was like, I took the challenge. And then I started practicing. How do you explain a topic in 5-10 minutes? I recorded a lot of videos experimenting with less time, and then I got the trick. Yes, you can explain topics which are 20 minutes, but in 10 minutes. And then I started recording all the videos in 10 minutes. So let's say if you give a topic, I can explain that in 5-10 minutes. So that's how I did that. And yeah, it was 2016-17 when I got full into content creation. Maybe it is feeling like all my journey, it was all about comments because that's what shaped me.
Yeah, and that's more genuine and authentic also. I feel like a lot of time now people produce videos and it's all about the views for them, even more so than the comments, you know. For someone that's starting out today, like let's say, you know what? I like teaching also. I feel like that could be fun. Do you think that they could do the same calculation that you did, like looking at how many videos they could make? Or do you feel like things have changed so much in the algorithm, they it's not as easy to just say, X amount of videos per month will render X amount of dollars?
In terms of earning, there are a lot of things which have changed in especially with YouTube. But there are other platforms which are giving good money. But if you only focus on YouTube, it's tricky because when I started, the revenue share was good, and there was less content on YouTube. Example, let's say if you focus on 2015 or 2016, at that point we got a lot of entertainment content and less education content. So if someone wants to learn from YouTube, they have less options. I know people will watch my video or my friends. Most of my YouTubers are my friends. So of course they will watch their videos. And whatever revenue we are generating, so we have a pool of revenue from creators. So you basically advertisers focus on particular creator or particular topic. So I know I will be getting a big chunk out of it. But after 2018-19, a lot of things change in the algorithm, the amount of ads distributed on different platforms. YouTube was not the only platform. We got Instagram. So the advertisers focused on Instagram. So now the revenue of YouTube is way less compared to when I started. So if someone wants to start YouTube and want to survive, it's very difficult. But if they have a secondary business, using which they can, convert their YouTube audience to that particular business, then it makes sense. Maybe having your own education platform where you are selling courses, or maybe you are selling a product, then it makes sense to divert them from YouTube. At this point, YouTube makes sense for marketing. If you're passionate about teaching, it's a great platform. Earning, not that much.
So would you recommend kind of the process you did where it was almost like something you did on the side at first and then decided to go all in? Is that the approach you would recommend?
Yeah, that makes much more sense. You should have some secondary income which will take
Mhm.
care of you in case if YouTube is not working. Yeah, ad revenue is less, but if you know how to market yourself, if you can get brand deals, it will be great.
So let's talk about that a little because I'm a big fan of the need to have like multiple sources of income, you know, because sometimes things happen. There's layoffs, there's other new expenses that come up. You shouldn't really just focus on one. So, like, let's say someone wants to try the YouTube thing and they're like, okay, I should have like use it to market to something else. If you were doing it over, if you were starting over and you knew you were going to try to sell some courses, would you try to produce some content on YouTube and put part of your course on there, and then if they want to see the rest, they could go to, I don't know, Udemy or Teachable to try to buy the rest? Or would you just build like an email list and then try to do a funnel? How would you do it if you were starting over today and you're going to try to use YouTube to market to your side business?
That's what we are doing now because we have courses on our platform. We have courses on Udemy. So we shift them from YouTube to there. Uh, so one thing which normally a lot of people are doing, which I have seen, is as you mentioned. So maybe create your own course somewhere, post it somewhere, and then upload a part of it on YouTube. And then you can ask them, okay, so to watch more, go here. But sometimes I feel when you're dealing with YouTube audience, basically they are your followers. They love you. They want to learn from you. And suddenly when you do that, when you say, okay, to learn more, go to this platform, they feel cheated. They're like, okay, I started with you because I thought you will teach everything. And suddenly you're asking us to pay now. There's nothing wrong with the payment, but that should be upfront. In the first video, you should say, okay, for first 10 videos, you will get it here. And if you like it, you can get it from the platform. What approach we are following is, and I love that approach, is if you're making a content, let's say if you want to teach Java from scratch, and let's say it takes 30 hours of content to teach Java, that will be on the other platform, paid. Doesn't matter what the price is, but it will be paid. On YouTube, I will create the same content, but in let's say 10 hours, 12 hours, or maybe 15 hours. But it will be from start to end. Maybe not going in very detail, let's say less number of examples, but I will make sure that I will complete the course. Now, by doing this, what is happening is when someone is watching your video, they know you're going to teach from start to end. They complete the entire course. If they want to explore more, maybe I want more examples, maybe I want to work on a specific project, then I can ask them, okay, there's another course which is available, which deals with the project implementation, which deals with more examples. You can check it out. So at least you are keeping your audience very happy. It's very important for me, for my audience to be happy, and they should get what I'm promising them. So that works for me. But yeah, if you want to do that, if you want to have, let's say, first 10 videos on YouTube and then rest on the other platform, let them know at the start itself, okay? So I'm going to teach you the basics of it. Maybe if you like it, if you like my teaching, if you want to explore more, you can go there.
So, okay, so that's, I like that approach. So you start from beginning to end, just a shorter version on YouTube, but how do they even know that you have the other longer version? Do you like put that like in the video description, or do you mention it at the end on your last episode or something?
So there are a lot of tricks to it. One is, of course, there's a YouTube description. People will go there and they will click. But I don't think anyone goes to description to check for other links. So what I normally do is when I teach a concept, so let's say I'm sharing my screen, I'm teaching an example, maybe in Java or some other languages. And then when I'm trying to print something to show them, okay, I'm executing this method, I'm doing this. In that statement, I will say my website name, telusko.com, or I will say learn Java. I'm doing an example, but when I'm doing this on the screen, they come to know, okay, there is another platform where I teach. So you have to be very smart in that. And then I got to know this once I started making more videos. In between, I thought, okay, while teaching, I will pitch my other platform. But then that doesn't sound good, pitching in between. So I thought, okay, let me just, subtly in the example, I will just add something and they will come to know, go there.
It's like product placements, like in the Hollywood movies where
Yeah.
actor takes a break. Oh, that chase scene where he starts drinking a Coke. All
Yeah.
right, continue running.
Whatever works.
Yeah, no, that's just genius. Yeah, because no one wants to feel like they're being sold, right?
Yeah.
So, but organically, yes, your website to have it there, that just
Right.
like, oh, makes sense.
Also, what works for me is, and I'm doing this from start, is in every video, I try to show my face. So it doesn't matter if I'm teaching example where I have to share my screen, I show my face. What happens with that is, let's say if I'm launching a new course and I want to do some Google ads, I just have to show my face. People do know, okay, this guy teaches well. Let me learn from there. Doesn't matter what the concept is. I've seen a lot of people who teach, they show their faces in one of the video, and then when they share their screen, they don't show their faces. It makes sense because when someone is learning, they want to see the screen. Why they want to see your face? But then I try to do that because it helps in two ways. One, they will remember my face, and second, with my facial expressions or with my gestures, I will keep it engaging so that they will not get bored looking at the screen.
So you have your at the corner, like your
Yeah,
visual while you're
around
teaching
it.
everything throughout.
That makes sense. You kind of keep that connection then too with your audience. Like everything kind of you're talking about is that your audience
Mm.
is so important to you and having those meaningful interactions. And you've found a really good way to keep that authenticity in with your tactics for growing your channel. So you're just leaning into your strengths there, right? You want to connect with your audience. And on the side, that helps retain viewers, that helps drive people to some of those deeper dive courses. So you didn't start with the end goal of, okay, I want to make it big on this platform. You thought of, how can I connect with my audience and use that to make my platform bigger to connect with more. And I think that that's a really great way to look at it.
Yeah, that's what I have learned later. So initially, the main focus was keep it engaging. In fact, in my entire training journey, I always try to keep my classroom engaged. So one of the worst nightmare or the worst thing I can imagine in a classroom is I'm teaching something and people are sleeping, or I'm teaching something and people are going out.
Yeah.
Diversity in software development isn't optional. It's really essential. It sparks innovation by bringing unique perspectives that create smarter solutions. Also, it helps build better products by ensuring software is inclusive and accessible to more people. And last but not least, it helps strengthen collaboration, helping us grow as engineers and teammates. In the end, diversity makes the tech we build stronger and better for everyone. I'm going to shift gears just a little bit now and ask a question regarding diversity and inclusion in tech. What are your thoughts about that? Like, do you feel that that benefits overall on a high level when we have like a diverse pool of software engineers, or does it not really make a difference?
So I will talk about in two different domains. So one is tech and one is education. So start with tech. And I always, normally, I'm not sure if you have seen my videos before, but normally when I refer to my audience, I always say aliens. The reason I do that is because I believe people who are working in tech, they don't live in this world. They live in virtual world. They always think in virtually, because nothing is changing physically. It's all virtually which is changing. The way you interact, the way you book a cab. So in initial days, you have to go on the street, stop a cab, and then you can take it. But now you can just take out your phone, book a cab, and you can do it. So everything is changing is virtually. The car is same, the driver is same. Now, since we are talking about the way we are changing the way people communicate, and we are impacting not just one area, we're impacting the entire world. And every place we have different kind of people. They have different ideas, they have different expectations. And when you build a product for the entire world, the contribution for that product should be from the entire world. You can't simply focus on one demographics and then say, okay, let the entire world use it. You have no idea what other expectations are, how they are going to use your product. Because there are certain products which I have seen, it was built for something different, and now it is getting used for something different. Maybe the creators of the product had no idea. When they're launching it, they thought, okay, people are going to use in this way. But no, we have different ways of using the same product. So if one team has people from different demographics, different genders, different way of thinking, they can share ideas. And it's very important. When you build a product, it should be for the entire world. It should be built by the entire world. In that discussion, you will come to know what will work and what will not work. And I have learned this very late, unfortunately. So when we started, we had a small team, and then we were discussing in 3 members team. We came to know, no, if you want to build for the world, we need people who had different ideas, different mindset, coming from different region. Maybe we'll not hire them directly. We will take them on contract, understand the ideas and how you are going to use the product. Now that's for the tech. Education, again, learned in the hard way. When I started teaching, my focus was only Indian audience because I used to face only Indians at the start. So when I goes to classroom, every place in the world, we have different way of learning. In India, we believe in spoon feeding. So if you want to learn a concept, I will give you from start to end and you can learn it. I was doing that from a long time. And then in one of the sessions, so I got an online session where people joined from different countries. And then when I started teaching, I got few chat there by saying, understood the concept, everything went well. And few comments were like, you're wasting so much of time explaining the basic concepts. I was like, of course, there should be someone who will explain the basics. And they were like, no, since we know that you're going to teach this, we did some study before, you can directly start with the main topic. And then I realized in different region in the world, there were different way of learning things. And then I started exploring how people learn in different region. And it changes region to region. It changes from age group to age group. When you want to teach to school kids, we have to take different examples. When you teach to engineers who are doing their graduations, we have to teach in different way. If you are teaching to someone who has worked on different domains, not in tech, but different domains for let's say 10, 15 years, when they come to tech, they have a different way of learning things. Now, I was thinking if I could have a team of trainers who could help me to understand how to teach, I could have done a way better job. And that's what we are doing now. So we got a training team with different age groups, with different genders, and we are planning in that way. How can we target every person so that they can learn? They should not be feeling that this is basically for one region.
Wow, that's nice. So, did you just Google how do people learn in Spain? How do people learn in South America? What
No,
was
no,
your
it's
approach?
it's it's all trial error. So we do live courses, right? And in live courses, people join from all over the world. Uh, One of the issue is language barrier because I can only speak English, Hindi, Marathi, I mean Indian languages plus English. So there's a restriction. Only countries speaking English now they can learn from me. Um, Now I'm very much in AI. Once that tool is integrated properly, where I can talk in English and people can learn in different languages. It's coming, but it's not fully there for Zoom and other platforms. Once it is there, I can target in a bigger audience. When they join the session, even if they're from different region, if they understand English, they do share their feedback, how they want to learn. Maybe some people just want to learn very practical way. They don't want theory. They ask for the practical, and then they will figure out what the theory behind it.
So I'm curious how, you're mentioning that you are doing, you have this team to help make sure that you are creating content that will resonate with different regions. When you're creating that content then, are you specifically, like, targeting that time zone to make sure it's getting to that audience? Are you titling it different to say, a complete guide versus, "Hey, let's get straight to the point?" How are you making sure now that you have identified the differences that it then gets to the right people?
Okay, that's a good point. In fact, we thought about it to create separate courses for separate region, but then we realized it's very difficult for trainers like us to do that multiple courses for the same topic. So now what we are doing is when we create a content, we first of all create multiple chunks. So one topic gets divided into 10 chunks. The first chunk will have a very basic concept. Second chunk will maybe having a practical. Now, if someone wants to focus directly on the practical, at the theory video itself will mention that, hey, this is the basics. If you know this, you can jump to next video. So we are changing the style of teaching based on different region, but we're not targeting the region. We are trying to make sure that one content can be consumed by everyone in their own pace. They can skip, they can jump. So if someone wants to learn through animations, there's an animation, but people can skip it.
I like how you break it down like that because it brings me right back to how you answered the question in the first part where you're saying, okay, it's tech versus education. There are kind of two ways you want to answer it. You started off the tech side being like, there are different ways that people use a product. That you're basically saying the same thing for education. There are different ways that people consume courses. So I think it's really interesting to see those parallels and how you've been very deliberate at making sure you have that diversity throughout, so you are reaching as many people in the way that resonates with them. So I really appreciate you sharing your thoughts and the learnings. To your point, right? I think it's important that we're talking about this so that other people can skip the trial and error that you've done of like not realizing that you have to do that right at first, and they can learn from what the process that you have. That sounds really great.
But again, having said that, I'm not sure if it is really working. So we are trying our best, but I'm not sure if it's really working. We have to get the feedback. Uh,
There we go. That's I mean, that's the importance of sharing this, right? You're sharing what works for you. Hopefully, chat, if you're watching this, drop in the comments what you might be doing to help lift everyone up, and make sure you're reaching as many people as possible.
How are you going about choosing the content that you're going to teach? I saw that one of your most popular courses was Python, but I don't I didn't see like a recent Python video because that one was from like a really long time ago. So how are you going about that? And is there going to be like a new Python course coming out?
Yesterday, I recorded my first video of Python again.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, but then again, we have not published. So it's not for YouTube. It is going on Udemy. For YouTube, we are making in Hindi now. Okay, but then the reason behind creating a Python course in 2018 was not because I wanted to create that course. I was a full into Java, Kotlin, Scala, other technologies, not Python. But in at that time, 2018, I was exploring blockchain because at that point, blockchain was everywhere. People talking about bitcoins, blockchain. I was not into cryptocurrencies, but I was into the technology behind it. I was very excited about blockchain. And then I went live on YouTube to talk about blockchain, that this is what is happening in the market, and I'm also exploring blockchain. I will come up with the video soon. But then I started looking at the chat. They were talking about Python, Python, Python. I was like, why they're saying Python so much? Maybe a lot of group of people came together deciding that they want to learn Python. And then I thought, why you're saying Python here? And they're like, can you teach Python before blockchain? I was like, okay, what's a big deal? I know Java. If I want to teach Python, it should be done in a week. I said, okay, I will do it. Once I finished, complete the live session on YouTube, I thought, is it really necessary to create Python course now when I wanted to focus on blockchain? I thought it will take 1 week. Let me try it out. Why not? So I know I can record now 5 videos per day. I got that momentum. I can do it. Then I started recording Python videos, and then I realized whom I'm targeting here. Because when you talk about Java as a language, it is used by the companies. But then students or people who are doing graduation, they don't learn Java in their college time because it's not that hyped. But they do learn Python. So when I'm teaching Java, I'm targeting the people who are working in the company. Now, when I have to teach Python, I have to target people who are doing graduation. They are new to the tech world. So I can't simply teach them Python like I'm teaching Java. So then I recorded few videos. I have scrapped it because that will not work. I started recording videos with very basic, and I thought, let me keep it more engaging now. I started editing my own videos. So in one day, one video record, one edit, upload. And it took me around 4 to 5 months to complete the entire series. Not because it took time for recording, but it took a lot of time for me to edit the videos. Now, if you get chance, there's a video of Python which is 41 factorial in Python. Now, in that video, if I want to explain factorial, where basically recursion, recursion using factorial using recursion, basically a function calling itself. Now, how will I explain that concept, function calling itself? Because it's very weird for students to learn for the first time. Then I started replicating myself. So I'm calling myself. If I want to find 5 factorial, so I will say, okay, 5 factorial is 5 into 4 factorial. So there is 4 factorial, who is me. Then 4 factorial says, okay, let me find 4 factorial is 4 into 3 factorial. Okay, so let me call myself again. So that editing took me around 2 or 3 days. The idea was to teach to the younger audience, make sure that they're engaged, and then it took a lot of time. When that video went on YouTube, my primary focus was Java with the platform, with the Telusko channel. But people started watching Python videos more than Java. And then the channel skyrocketed. And that's why you can see the popular course is Python. Is not because I loved teaching it. It's just because the way I created that content went well. So yeah, it's more demanding, and the way I made those courses went well. But again, from last few years, I was not focusing on Python again. Now, because of AI, there's a huge demand again on the channel. Those are old videos. We want the fresh ones.
Mhm.
So I thought, okay, let me just start again.
You mentioned AI, and I think that especially in the education space, a really hot topic is how can you teach people to use AI effectively? Meaning, how can you make it so they're not just depending on AI and not actually learning the concept? So I'd love if you could give your thoughts on that, on how you approach AI in your courses and tips that you have for people getting started to responsibly leverage AI in their coding.
AI started, in fact, with ChatGPT. When it came into picture, I was like, no one will use ChatGPT because we were very happy with Stack Overflow. We were happy with Wikipedia. We were happy with YouTube. And then day by day, you got some exciting new tools. Then we got Copilot in the IDE. So I was exploring vscode, and then we got Copilot. I thought, okay, it's helping. So when you ask for the question, you are getting the answers. And then we got more advancement where you can simply mention the prompt, it gives you the entire code. I was like, now this is a high time because if I'm using it, even the learners who are new to the tech world, they will also start using AI to build something. Maybe they get the assignment from the college or from wherever they are learning, and then they can complete the assignments from AI. Now, what is happening here is they are making sure that the work is done, the assignment is complete, but they're not doing it. It's the AI who is doing it. Maybe they are thinking once they join the job, they will use AI there. If they get a task, they will write the prompt, AI will give you the code, you will just inject that in your code and it will work. And it's not the first time it is happening. In fact, a few years ago, there was a joke. If, as a developer, most of our time goes into Stack Overflow. You copy the code from Stack Overflow and paste in your IDE, and it works. See, copy pasting the code is easy. What is difficult is from where to copy and where to paste. But now with AI also you get the code. But where should we copy that code and where to paste it? You should know the right prompt. After pasting it, will it work? And even if it is working, if you want to change something, even if you want to add a little feature there, can you do it? And you can do that only if you understand the basics. Because maximum time of developers goes into debugging. I mean, luckily now, or unfortunately, you can say AI can also debug your application. But if you don't know the foundation, if you don't understand the fundamentals of your concepts, it's of no use. Ultimately, you will get stuck somewhere. And if you're really dependent on AI to give you everything, then companies will not even need you. If you are using AI, even company can use AI. So normally when I suggest to my participants, when I teach, I tell them, use AI for sure. You can't run away from AI. Even for learning, even for development, use AI. But make sure that first you understand the concept properly, write 1 or 2 examples by yourself without touching AI, and then see how AI is giving you the output and then compare. Now, when you compare, you will understand where AI is lacking behind and where you can improve. So that's the ideal way. When you're learning, don't touch AI. But once you get, let's say you reach to the intermediate level, start using AI.
So get kind of that solid foundation first before figuring out where to plug it in. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love that. The key will be the ones that truly want to learn will do that. And the ones that just want to like hurry up and get the work done, they'll still skip that. But then that'll bite them when they face
Oh,
like
yeah.
a hard
They'll
problem.
come back around.
I do wonder, and I haven't done this yet, but I'm gonna experiment with this though. Like if you do end up like going through the development process to build something, but do want to understand if you could actually use AI to say, look, and now explain module by module, function by function, exactly what's going on, just to kind of like summarize something. So then I could like then try to like study and like review it myself so that I could know what I just built, how it's actually working. I wonder how good it will be.
In fact, I have done that. So when I was exploring Copilot at the start, uh, that feature was not there. And then they have introduced one feature where you can ask AI to explain the code.
Mhm.
And then you can either ask to explain the entire code file, or you can select a particular method and say, okay, explain this method to me.
Yeah, that
And then
okay.
I was started judging it because I'm a trainer and I was judging AI. Can you explain better than me?
What was the
In
result?
some places, it was. So I got a bit
Mhm.
scared. Why will people learn from me when AI can explain better?
Uh,
So,
okay.
I mean, it did some mistake. Of course, that's what we can expect from AI now. But most of the places, it was doing good.
So it made mistakes explaining it, or you're just saying it made mistakes when it was like just trying to do what you asked it to do?
In explaining also, there was some concepts which was maybe it was imagining something else while talking about a particular topic. Maybe it was not able to understand the class which I'm talking about. So, example, let's say if you ask a human to explain this method, now the human knows what is happening behind the scene. But if you just give 4 lines of code to AI and say, explain this, it was not doing a good job. But I'm talking about Feb 24 when I was exploring that.
Mhm.
So it's been
Yeah.
1.5 year now. So maybe things have
Okay.
Yeah.
improved there.
Yeah, definitely more context now to help with that because exactly to your point, humans are if you've been in the code base, you know all that context around it. You don't need to be directly fed it, whereas AI, you need to make sure you're feeding it the correct context, and if you don't, you can get those incorrect explanations.
Right. And with newer models, I think they're doing better job.
Mhm.
You mentioned GitHub Copilot. How often do you use GitHub Copilot? And if like you don't really use it that much, like why not? What's been great about it for you, and how could it be improved from your thoughts?
At this point, I'm not using it from last few months. So we are basically shifting different AI tools just to experiment because we are building our own AI tutor where people can learn from AI and not completely from AI. There will be a human touch as well. Now, while building it, we are experimenting with different AI models, which will help us to do that.
You said you're building your own tool. Is it like a code editor you're building, or is it what are you what are you building?
We are building a AI tutor. So basically, if someone wants to learn something, they will go to because what is happening now is if someone wants to learn Java, they will go to YouTube or maybe other platform and they will go to the entire course. But then every individual will have a different starting point. Some people know the basics. Some people have no idea what that technology is. Some people have a different pace of learning. So now with the existing courses on different platforms, they have to go through each and every video to understand and practice. Now with the AI tutor, we can personalize learning. So based on what you know, based on how do you learn, based on do you follow text or video, we can customize it. So we are building a platform now. Of course, we're not building our own models. We are using OpenAI models, but we have a wrapper around it where basically a individual will come there and talk. We'll ask some questions to that person. If the person says, I want to learn Java, we'll ask some questions. Do you know this? Do you know that? What is your pace of learning? Do you prefer videos or audio or text? And based on that, it will create the entire course content. Based on that, it will, if a person says, I want to learn from text and examples, we'll show that. If a person says, I prefer videos, we'll show the written content. Plus, there will be a video of mine, real video, not the AI generated video, a real video of mine to teach that concept. Just to maintain that human touch. I don't want to lose my face. So that's what we are building now. And so we started a few months ago. Before that, I was using Copilot with vscode. And the main purpose of using Copilot was to generate a project from scratch. Example, let's say if I'm a backend developer, so I don't work much on the front end. So if I'm building a backend API and to test something, I want to build a front end for it without talking to my front end team. Of course, they will do a better job. I will give a prompt to Copilot by saying, okay, this is my endpoints. Create a React application for this. And from scratch, it will give me React application. It's amazing. The only problem is I tried it multiple times. None of the time it worked on first go. I have to tweak some configuration or something, but it works. So maybe spending extra 30-40 minutes to change the configuration, links and stuff, but it works. But then later on, I shifted to fully backend development and I shifted to different IDE and it has its own AI tool. So I'm using that now.
What was the worst day in your career and how'd you overcome it? And then what was your best day? And why was it the best day in your career?
So I don't have a worst day, but I have a worst week. So what happened is I was working for my first job. I was very excited to get my first job after my graduation. And it was MNC in India. I got the job as Android developer. and then I got training on something else. So they hired as an Android developer, but then they put me into some other domain. Not because of the skill set, they were doing some random stuff. This person will go in this domain, that will go in that domain. I was okay with it for a few days, and then I asked my manager, "You hired me as an Android developer, but then I'm not getting that work, I'm getting something else." He was like, "We don't have that project now. We hired you for the project, but then we lost that project. So you have to work on this for a few months." I was like, "Okay, I can handle that. I'm new to industry. Whatever you say is okay." But then they moved me to different city. I was away from my family for a work which I'm not liking. Then I went to my manager again, a different manager, because I was moved to the different place. I was like, I'm not happy with the work I'm getting, and I'm not happy with the place where I'm working. At least give me one. Either give me a work which I love so that I can stay anywhere, or if you don't want me to work on that project, send me back to my hometown. And at that point, that manager didn't deal me in a good way. He was like, "You're a newbie to the industry. You should be doing what you are assigned to do. Don't ask questions now. Just go back to your desk and work." And I was like, I'm not okay with that thing. I called my parents. I was like, "Nothing is working here," and they're like, "Come back. You can get a job here. You can work here." And then when I went back, this company, they sent me a legal mail by saying that you can't work anymore now. So they have a network. So you can't work in those companies now. And I was, I was not okay with it. I was very sad, maybe kind of depression. I'm not sure what depression is. I never went
Right,
into
yeah.
it. So I was very sad. And for 1 week, I was not able to. I was not even having a confidence to go for the interviews. What if I'm going for the interview and then they have a network with this company?
Oh, yeah.
And then I looked for a startup work where they will not check any background or stuff, because I've not given them any intimation that I'm leaving. I just left.
Okay.
And maybe that was the reason they sent me a legal notice that you can't simply leave the job like this. And I I've given 2 or 3 interviews, and then everyone rejected me. I'm not sure what went wrong that week. Maybe I was not fully prepared for the interviews, but that was a worst week, and it took me around few months to come out of it.
How'd you get yourself out of it? Did you just try to focus doing some other activities? Like if someone, because I'm sure what happened is happens often, where it's like a bait and switch, and then people feel stuck. So,
Yeah.
what would you recommend for someone else to get out of it? How'd you get out of it so you could just get back on your feet again?
Okay. So I was, as I mentioned before, right? Teaching. I used to explore teaching. I used to love it. Uh, so I had my professor in my college, and he had some students who used to come to his home to learn different concepts. And he invited me one day to talk to them. I spent my week with them, understanding different. So I was not basically teaching them, but I was. We were discussing what project we can work on, how you grow in your life. They had no idea from where I'm coming last week. That somewhere helped me to come out of that zone. My friends, my family helped me there. One of the thing, I'm not sure if you know about the culture where I'm staying, because basically here, for a person, if they get a job, their first job, and leaving their job is a very bad thing for the society.
Where are you? Are you
India.
what in India? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
So
like all of India is like that, or I mean,
no,
India's
no, things are
huge.
changing now. Things are very different now. I'm talking about 2010, especially where I was based in. So I was in a very poor family, and the society there, for them, getting a job was a big thing. And
Okay,
leaving a job, well-paid job, coming back without a job,
it's a big deal.
everyone, relatives will say why you left the job, but then family
Mm.
supported, and that's a good thing happened to me.
So that's good to know. Family support, and then also like working with like the other peers,
Yeah.
to get you out of that negative mental space.
Important is talk. Important is talk. Talk to them. Uh, Share your whatever issues you're facing, or maybe some other topic. Just be busy.
Perfect. And the best day, like what was a highlight that sticks out of your mind throughout your career?
Again, I don't have exactly one, but then, as I mentioned before, that one comment which came at the start of my YouTube career, where someone said, because of this video, I got the job, I was very happy. I was not able to tell anyone that I got this comment. That was weird because no one will believe that because of this video, how can someone get a job? But then I was very happy. I was everywhere I was going, I was smiling, and though they had no idea why I'm smiling. One happy moment was also when I gave my first TEDx talk, not TED talk, TEDx talk. From my college days, I used to watch TED videos, and I was like, okay, one day I have to go there.
Yeah.
But at least I got a lower platform of TED, which is TEDx, where I went on stage. I was feeling that I'm on TED platform. I was on the stage, I was talking about things, and it went well, and I was very happy.
That's awesome. Yeah, and TEDx is like big now too. Like maybe in the
Yeah.
beginning it was like, oh, TEDx, but like now it's like there's like a lot of like videos where it's tons of
Yeah.
views just for TEDx. So
Yeah, that's an amazing accomplishment. I feel like that's probably like one of the moments you're like, wow, like my work's led me to here. This is a big moment.
Yeah. And I want to add one more day when I had
Mhm.
my first kid, my first child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't want to be in trouble with that one. It's like, hey, what about me?
Yeah, I have to go home. I have to go home.
This is great. All right, Naveen, thank you so much for joining us. This has been amazing. I should mention before I wrap up, where should your new fans contact you? What's the best way to reach out to you? And is there any major thing that you're working on, whether it's like another new course that you want to just share?
Yeah, the best place to see me again is my YouTube channel where I keep posting. I know I'm from last few weeks I'm not doing that because I'm busy with some other stuff, but that's the best place. Apart from this, I'm there on Instagram as well as Navin Reddy Official, where they can directly DM me. And if you are someone who's learning technology and want to get your questions clarified, we do have a Discord channel. That's the best place to get it resolve.
Awesome. Folks, that's it for this episode. Definitely share this podcast. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the next one.